Hello there. Hello there. Hello there. Hello there. Hello there. Another happy landing. Hello there.
What's up, everybody? I'm Big Lovin, and this is DellaSnooch. Welcome to the Escape Pod, episode 84, Dune SpoilerCast Roundtable.
Truth.
Clankety clank, bitch.
How you doing, buddy? You've had an interesting day.
I am like hanging in there in the weirdest way.
You're a Raiders fan.
Fuck you. At least I'm not a Lions fan, bitch.
You can't hang in there.
Yeah.
You gotta have big ass broad shoulders.
You can't.
These are Lions fan shoulders right here.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta have them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, fuck off. But no, the wife called today. It was about an hour after lunch. Hour and a half, after lunch. And she's like, I need you home right now. Oh, shit.
Right.
And you know what? I knew exactly what it was when it happened. I
Really?
really did. I really knew exactly what it was.
Of all the possible things that went wrong, that's what popped into your head.
Yep.
Wow.
The dog got attacked from the same damn neighbor dog that took Brian.
Yeah, right around episode 45-ish.
Yeah. So this time though, the other dogs got involved. So it was 3-on-1. But what made it worse is King got away. Nicole and mother-in-law are out there getting crazy, splitting them up. King makes it in the house. The other dog gets away. The one that killed Brian gets away, makes it into the house, and proceeds to bite down again on King in front of McKinley.
Just ridiculous.
Because McKinley's been home. She had a fever, so we kept her home.
Right.
Or she had a temperature, not a fever. I'm sorry, I should say.
This is the dog that you and your wife were gracious enough to allow the neighbor to keep on the guys that she was going to keep her dogs under control.
Keep it in check. Right. Because we're that kind of people, dude. Like and so many, you might be out there and you're not that person. And that's 100. Like, I respect that to the fullest, but respect that this is who I am. I just couldn't be like, kill your fucking dog. But now I'm like, kill your fucking dog.
Yeah, you're a second chance guy.
Yeah, I can't give you a third chance on this one, dude. And then especially when it happened right in front of my daughter.
Right.
Like, that's
to your daughter's puppy.
In her safe space, in her home, in her living room.
Yeah.
Not cool, bro.
Right.
Not cool. Like, I'm not having it. And thankfully, he is okay. He's being worked on right now. He had some punctures in the skin and stuff, so they got to do some things. He might have drains. We don't know. It all depends, because the way she got all sciencey and veterinarian on me, and
drains suck, bro.
Yeah. So hoping that's not the case, because I've heard that from other people.
It's just a pain in the ass.
It's a pain.
And then it get clogged up, and you got to like unplug them and clean them. It's gross.
Yeah. Ugh. So,
well, I'm glad that your dog is okay.
Yes, I appreciate that, brother.
It's the whole. And when our friend told me about that earlier, I'm like, motherfucker.
Yeah, dude, I lickety split. Like, I was out of there quicker than swimwear. I was gone, dude.
That's really fucking horrible.
Because like and I know all jokes aside, you kicking the dog and stuff, like, we treat our dogs like family.
Yeah,
our dogs are family.
I joke about fucking around with a dog or whatever, but I treat the dogs are.
And I see that when I come over, like, you know what I mean? Like, I know that, but like, that's my guy, dude. And he's so little, bro. He's so little. And this other dog is a beast no more.
Chantel saying hi on her way by.
Oh, what up, Chantel?
She's got to get ready for Conan.
Oh, that's right. Hello, Conan. Tell Conan we said hi.
Yeah. Tell him
the escape pod said what's up.
Tell him he's not as attractive as me, nor is as funny. So
Chantel would beg to differ.
Yeah, I know she
Chantel went to go see him studio live. We have no studio audience.
Guarantee she's gonna try and touch his butt.
I would.
probably.
But that's just me.
Anything else happened this week that didn't suck?
I worked Sunday. The girls had cheer competition on Saturday at home. They got second place. They did really well. I thought they did really well before I even knew the results. Like I was in it. I was like you girls got your shit together. They were loud, bro. And I was up there and they sounded good. They were performing well, really pretty good in rhythm as much as you can be at those ages. You know what I mean?
They didn't get shitty fucking.
No, they didn't get, they did really well
this time.
Yeah, they did really well.
Good.
They got second place. So they did really well. I was proud of them. Although Mrs. Kennedy, she's mad they didn't get first place. So what are you gonna do?
She's the one who won't lose. So
don't. Yeah, she'll get you by the throat, dude. Just watch yourself in front of her. That's all I'm saying.
Let's see.
What up, Darius?
First, Michigan lost.
Yeah,
in a fucking brutal nail biter.
It was bad.
I'm not gonna get into all the things about it that made me angry, but whatever.
They made you angry.
It made me angry. The Lions. I went and saw the Lions play at Ford Field on Sunday. I knew they were gonna get beat.
But you didn't know they were gonna get.
I didn't know it was gonna be that comical, dude. You could have literally played the Benny Hill music while they were running around the just fucking ridiculous. Just ridiculous. The defensive captain was out of position at least 85% of the time. Like I was telling Brady, there was a design run that the Eagles were running. There's a wide hole and a little hole, and the way that play works is the line shifts, the guy fakes the big hole and shoots the little one.
Right.
It's a simple fucking running play. So the line shifts, the Lions line shifts. Our defensive captain, I can't even remember the guy's name, is supposed to slip around and plug the hole. He went the other way. Like, what are you guys doing?
What's going on?
He's just fucking standing there, not blocking anybody. Like, it's fucking stupid.
Not good.
It was one of the worst football games I've ever seen.
Yeah.
What else happened this week? Went and seen the chiropractor.
Yeah.
Okay, I went and seen this new chiropractor, right? My old chiropractor would like get up on a table and like drop an elbow and like snap half my spine, and then they'd have to like ice me and put a fucking massage. You're
making my neck
on me.
hurt right now.
Right. Like he murdered me, right? So I go see this new chiropractor. She's about 105 pounds. If she's holding a 10-pound dumbbell. She pulls out this magic fucking wand she's got with this little U-shaped doohickey with a couple balls on it. She puts it on my spine. Well, first she took x-rays, but then she puts it on my spine, right? She hits this button, the thing starts fucking vibrating at like,
yes, dude,
like crazy frequency. And she starts manipulating my vertebrae in my back a little at a time. And then she measured them all and did it again. Now I got to go back on Friday and do it. My back feels better now than it has in fucking 6 months.
That's amazing, dude. Awesome.
She ain't nothing but this fucking big, and she's working my shit. It's amazing.
I'm worried about what's going on with Steve and Alan from Plus Play, because
are they having a whole thing?
Steve's talking about plugging the hole, and Alan says the DM on Twitter. So I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it's gonna be that kind of party.
Oh man, that's what you're missing in the chat.
Oh, and
you could be invited by strange men to special Twitter messages.
Yeah, you'd be invited to see Steve's long in a Twitter DM.
Yeah, you don't want to be a part of that.
Yeah.
Or maybe you do. I don't know.
Maybe
we're not here to judge. We're not here to judge.
Yeah.
This is a judge-free zone.
Came here to see the whole Rogue One radio.
Oh my God.
Yeah, how you doing?
Yeah.
I went to this really cool Irish pub in Detroit in the Eastern Market that I've never been to before. I figured I'd plug it, see if it'll pick it up on the screen. It's called Thomas McGee's. It was fucking great. Like when I walked in, the bartender's Irish and you could hear it in his voice.
Oh,
and
that's amazing.
That's
beautiful.
The authenticity of this place was just to the fucking moon. Anyway, shout out to Thomas McGee's pub in the Eastern Market in Detroit.
Speaking of shout outs, shout out the chat, bro.
Yes. In the chat, we've got Dragon Buddy, we got Steve Long, Just Jen, Alan Press Play Studios in the chat. Who else we got? Darius Payne, Ashley and Brandy, Chantel, Use and Abuse Podcast is here. Jason Roscom from the Sidebar Cantinas here.
Oh, what's up?
This is so good.
Hell
Haven't
yeah.
seen the Hectolorian yet.
The Hectolorian. I'm worried.
Dragon Buddy.
He might be on a mission though.
Hectolorian was in the booth in the back show. He's around. Oh, and Rebel Rose Podcast kicked us off. She was first in the chat saying what's up.
Oh, thank you.
So that being said, man, let's get into the regular shout outs.
Hell.
I got to tell them where they can find us.
Yeah, you got to do that first.
You can find us on all your favorite podcast catchers. I'm not going to get into all of them because there's just too fucking many.
Yeah, there's like 11 of them.
11 of them. You can find other great Red 5 Network shows on the web at red5network.com, like War of the Stars, who just is in the middle of their series of Women of Star Wars. This time they talked about Jyn Erso and Kira. Good show. Have you watched War of the Stars yet?
No, I have not.
Get with that. Good stuff.
Maybe I started. No. No.
Big T and Little T. They dove into the new Boba Fett trailer, which was cool.
Yeah, we need to start thinking about doing that.
Yeah,
too.
we should talk about. Hectolorian's in the chat now.
Yes, what's up, Hectolorian?
And Jen says that Jess is in Detroit doing worky stuff.
Ooh, doing fancy worky stuff.
Fancy,
I see he was wearing fancy collar.
Yeah, fuck yeah. He was acting, looking just like a grown-up. It was kind of weird.
It was kind of weird. He had spectacles on the whole stroke, man.
Spectacles, testicles, wallet, and watch.
Yeah, he probably had all of it, too. You don't go downtown without all that.
No, not in Detroit, you don't. Actually, you'd probably like to leave your wallet somewhere.
Put that in your front pocket.
You don't want them to see the lump.
But you know what you guys should do? You should visit our store on tpublic.com, search ATSW The Escape Pod, and make sure that you scroll down and look at all the random goodies like coffee mugs, stickers, t-shirts, tote bags, all kinds of cool shit.
T-shirt. Get this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's me.
It is. It's him.
It's me. Before the haircut.
Mm-hmm. Follow us at ATS.
That's all that's different about that. It's just the hair.
It's just the hair.
It's just the hair.
Well, the muscles.
I'm still loving strong. I just don't have the long hair.
Sure. Follow us at ATSW _ The Escape Pod on Instagram and at The Escape Pod on Twitter. Join ATSW The Escape Pod Facebook group for all kinds of silliness and shenanigans.
Hell yeah. It's a good time.
It is.
We're going to get into the shout outs proper. First and foremost, always got to give a shout out to the Sidebar Cantina. That is the mothership. That is David Jason. That is the New Jersey Delphians. That is the homies. They are still on hiatus, but they are done being on hiatus and they are coming back on Monday and they are talking about the gadgets of the 80s.
True.
I'm kind of stoked on that because I think they're going to bring up some shit I forgot.
Yeah.
So I'm all for it. I just the picture that Luna Girl put out on the social media with all the little things on the bottom, I was like, oh, and then I remember. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I remember all the things.
See the member berries?
The member
video
berry.
that Lunar Girl shared with us.
Jesus.
You remember the Death Star? I remember.
Next, we have Used and Abused with Kim and Scott doing their thing. Always twofers on Tuesday.
Yeah.
They should just change their name to Twofers
Two
on
for
Tuesdays.
Tuesdays.
2 for Tuesdays with Kim and Scott.
Yep.
But they're not. They're Used and Abused with Kim and Scott. So get that shit right.
Uh-huh.
All right. And then we have Big Swede for Big Swede's Excellent Adventure and Tactical Swede and Swede Reacts on YouTube. Doing all the things.
Something about the title Used and Abused makes me think of Naked and Famous.
Naked and Famous?
I don't know why.
I like it.
Our Patreon shout outs, as always, Scott and Kim Rasmussen, Big Swede, Jen and Jess Bolt, Lunar Girl and Dragon Buddy, DJ Red 4, Richie the King Armbruster, Kristen Roscom, Backyard TARDIS, Amanda Lorian, Darius Payne, Eric Dub Williams, who just joined the chat, Philly Dave Martin, and as always, Nostalgia Inc. joining the or sponsoring the Escape Crate. And next week we have got to do the October Escape Crate drawing because we keep forgetting.
Yeah, it's your fault though.
And I'm a bad host.
Yeah. So that's 4. new draws everybody
Yeah,
gets.
4 new draws.
Because 2 from last week
Yeah.
and then 2 this week because you're dropping the ball.
No, I'm putting in 4 pairs of draws in the box.
No,
Yeah.
y'all. Can't do that, dog.
Yeah.
Can't do that.
There's gonna be like 4 pairs of fruit of the wombs.
Fruit of the Wombs. They're gonna be so beautiful. I just want to give a special shout out to my boy, our boy, Richie.
Yeah.
Richie Armbruster.
Richie the Neck Armbruster.
He's on the head, he's on the heart. Just want to give a shout out to the man right there.
Yeah.
He's a good dude.
Big love guy.
Hell yeah.
All right. So it is time to talk about this brand new Dune movie. Are you fucking ready?
Let's just bring them all in. Just
Let's
an
do it.
explosion of people.
Oh,
Bang, boom, boom.
Are you
boom.
ready? Dragon Buddy, Steve, Lunar Girl, and Aaron.
Woo!
Oh my God.
Fantastic. They're all here.
That was so fast.
Everybody's like, oh shit.
Let's go around real quick and tell everybody where they can find you, except Dragon Buddy, who is.
They can find me right here tonight.
Yes. and
be
overseeing
announced.
cable installation in the greater PA region, right?
Northeast in the Poconos.
Nice. Steve.
Oh, hey. I'm right here.
Tell everybody where they can find you, buddy.
All right. Well, I'm on Twitter mostly. It's Otter272. Or you can find me over at my Rogue One Radio Twitter as well. That's Rogue with the number 1 radio. And yeah, so we air live Tuesday nights at 6 p.m. or actually 7 p.m. Central. And yeah, so check us out sometime.
Definitely.
You will do it.
Aaron?
Yes, podcast.wstrmedia.com. And our tag is at WSTR Media, available wherever fine podcasts are sold. Also, we live stream every Monday night at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time-ish. And we just had Lunar Girl on this past week. So thanks for joining us.
Yeah. It's awesome. Lunar Girl, where can't they find you?
They can't find me on MySpace because I'm not there anymore. But you can find me doing the social media posting for the Sidebar Cantina on Instagram, Sidebar Cantina on Twitter, the Sidebar Cantina on Facebook, and we also have a Discord, the Sidebar Cantina. And I like to
And I need new pants.
Need Discord. And you can usually find me, bouncing around everybody else's podcast because, I like doing them.
Nice. Well, thanks for joining us, everybody. We really appreciate you joining this roundtable event. We're going to have a good time.
It's Ian's big bro. Who's Ian?
Ian's my brother. I
Oh.
told you that.
Oh.
It's Ian. Well, it's Ian's big bro. I was confused.
Oh, I got you.
It's your brother.
Yeah, he's reading the chats, everybody.
Brady's
Hi,
brother,
Ian.
Brady's brother in the chat.
I've seen pictures of your brother. He's so adorable.
Oh, thank you.
He's got like this big hair and everything.
Oh, that's my little big brother.
Oh,
I
that's a
have the little
different
big
brother.
brother, and then I have my oldest.
This
little
is
brother.
Thor.
The Thor is the one. No, that one's Ian. Ian is not Thor.
So that's Loki.
That's Loki.
Okay.
That's the way he explained it to me.
I'm all confused.
Brady's
now.
brother, Thor, and Loki.
Whole
All
lot.
right. What in the world did I do with the notes?
Doing
Notes
it
knows
live.
who's got the notes.
Really, you're not prepared like this?
I was prepared to do everything but this one moment.
Shameful.
Yeah. And you look foolish because everybody knows I don't do notes.
This is very true. Ladies and gentlemen, Brady does not do notes.
We know, Brady.
Thank you. For those who are new, I don't do the notes.
Brady encourages people to get their shit together.
Yes, get your shit together, but I don't do the notes.
Well, what really fucking messed me up is having to do the last show without you. I'm not very smart, and I get really scared when I'm out of my element.
It's okay. I was there to comfort you.
It's true.
We got through.
You were there.
It was okay.
All right. You guys ready to crack into this monstrous epic tale?
I'm ready.
All right.
Let's do it.
As far as the novel goes, 1965 Frank Herbert's novel Dune was released. 66 it tied Roger Zelzin's book This Immortal for a Hugo Award. Later won the inaugural Nebula Award for Best Novel. Anybody who's watched Mythic Quest on HBO has heard of this Nebula Award like constantly. Nobody's seen it.
You're alone.
Everybody needs to watch
Crickets, baby. Crickets.
Mythic Quest on HBO Plus. It is the coolest fucking show. It's basically The Office, except that office is a video game studio.
Oh, fantastic.
It's really well made. It's got what's his name? Danny Pudi in it from Community.
That's
not
a
sure
funny
who that
name.
The Indian guy from Community.
I think I know
Okay.
who that is. I think I know who that is.
I can't recommend it enough. And it's one of those things that's so much better than it even has the right to be, that you get through like the second season. You're like, why am I fucking upset about this? It's
Sounds good.
anyway, the Nebula Award comes up a shit ton in it. So out of everybody here, who here read the Dune novel? And if you did, when were you exposed to it?
Probably 1990. I was a young teenager, I think. My dad had a reading list of Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, and then Dune. You have to at least read the first book.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And it was wild. Definitely a good book.
Mm-hmm. Now, was it just you? You were the only.
I think Luna Girl too.
Luna Girl, you read this book?
Yeah, I read the book, but honest to God, I can't remember when I read the book. But I read the book because I know everything that happened in it. So, but I don't remember when. So,
Fair
Fair
Yeah.
enough.
I didn't read the book until they announced that they were making this movie. So all of my original familiarity was with the original movie, the David Lynch movie.
mhm.
And I was always aware that there was a book, but I was like, well, I seen the movie.
Yeah.
And as I got older, I started to find out more and more that the real goodies are in the book, and the movies are usually kind of shitty in comparison. So I did read this. Maybe it was 3 years ago now. I read this book, and I've listened to the audiobook a couple times too.
How's the audiobook?
Dry.
Good. I don't want to listen to it.
Somebody just said, and I can't remember who, but it was on a podcast that I listened to. It might have been the Salty Nerd, but they read. Yes, it was the Salty Nerd, and it was Backyard TARDIS was telling Salty that they redid the audiobook.
No.
They redid the whole audiobook with a whole bunch of famous people reading.
Oh, so they turned it into an audio drama.
Nice.
Yes,
I want to check that out.
Yeah.
And said it was so much better.
I would do that.
I'll get involved with that.
But the original audiobook is okay. So the text is full of all kinds of stories, and all those sub stories are dynamic, and there's highs and lows, and but the guy that read it, you could tell that he enjoyed it, but it was almost like he was reading it to himself instead of performing it for you.
He's reading and just chuckles occasionally.
It's like every once in a while he just sets it down and goes, well, I do enjoy this part of the book. That Duke Atreides. Let's see what else we got. Back to the novel still.
Mhm.
Did you guys read any of the sequels?
Yes.
No.
No.
Dragon Buddy went all in.
I'm all in. I mean,
Dragon Buddy,
this
give
whole
it to me.
story takes place over like 10,000 years. Like
Yes.
there's thousands into years. And like Duncan, Idaho, Leto, Muad'Dib, they all like, there's like a rebirth, and it's very in depth where,
Mhm.
you know, Duncan, Idaho, 10,000 years later is leading a charge for something, and it's his 9th iteration, or
Yeah.
so it's very heavy stuff.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's real deep sci-fi. It's Children of the Dune is the second one, right? Or Children of Dune?
Children of Dune, yes, I think it's the second one.
Really, the second book is really good, and then they kind of float and meander after that.
Yeah, there's 5, and then if you read any more past, I think 85 or 86, it's his son that picks it up, just like Christopher Tolkien did with his father.
Right.
And it's based on notes that they found. And I think the best thing that they've done is made like an encyclopedia where you can catch all of these terms and go back and see how they relate to different things. That was a decent book, just because there's a lot to take in, even just with the first book.
Right.
You know, everything that's there.
Yeah, and I think that was kind of where the real ideas stopped, and then it just was like, all right, let's play in the world again, kind of writing.
Yeah.
But the first two, like, there's ideas. Like, we're not going to get into in the movie part, but the books, like, explain that there was a war way before these wars, where the computers had gotten out of control,
like
and
Terminator, Terminator,
and became self-aware, and so that's why they don't use computers anymore. They use mentats to do all their calculations and stuff, because computers are too fucking dangerous.
Fair enough. Makes
sense. There's multiple subplots and interesting characters that you're just not going to get in these movies, just because they got to save time.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add to that, Dragon Buddy, before we push on?
I think that was the main complaint when it comes to book lovers and the ones that are all about the books, is going into the 80s version. Why it received such a bad thing is because it was on the right path, and then at some point they're like, we're gonna run out of money. We gotta go. It's a big battle. He wins, yay, and it's over. And that's where the first one, this being part 1, leaves room to really interpret more of the book, and I think that's why it's truer to the book.
Yep. I definitely have a little bit of an issue with the way this was divided in this movie. We'll get into later, but a lot of it has to do with that battle. For sure, I wish it would have been handled a bit different.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty elaborate in the books. Like that battle's a couple chapters long. It's serious business.
Oh yeah, serious.
Serious SM. So beyond the absence of the computer stuff, and what sticks out to you about the novels that the films just don't capture? Really, either film.
I think a quick one would be in the books, when it goes to Paul Atreides, he latches on to the Fremen's religion and almost kind of molds it around. Yes, it's part of my prophecy and whatnot, but really plays upon that for them to rise up, jihad, and it's time to change the universe. I think it plays that in the book. It really leads that into his niche right with the Fremen and taking over Arrakis.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I think that it does a better job of explaining how the Bene Gesserit kind of wove a tapestry throughout the universe, not just on these 2 planets, but in other places. And they kind of I don't know, create a cat's cradle, so to speak, and then just before all this goes down, they just go
Right.
and just yank the whole universe into a giant conflict.
Right.
And these movies just don't have the reach to go to pull all those pieces together. You know, you got to keep a movie somewhat tight or you lose your audience real fast. Especially if you got a 2.5 hour movie. If you haven't done a good job of keeping everybody plugging along, like people don't know what the hell's happening.
Right.
Let's get into the David Lynch movie a little bit, because I think this is territory that we're all way more familiar with.
Maybe ask the question first.
Well, hey everybody, my friend Brady, he just woke up.
I didn't read the book, man. So maybe I took a snooze. Maybe a couple of our panel took a snooze.
Yeah,
I didn't read the damn book.
Did you watch the David Lynch movie?
No, so I don't want to snooze through this one.
Yeah, just drink your Corona, I guess.
All right, man. I hope more people can jump on board.
I don't know very many people that didn't at least attempt to watch the 1984 David Lynch movie.
Hi, I'm one of them.
Oh, it's coming. Now,
John's going to edit all this out anyway. So.
Yeah, I'm sure.
To let everybody in on a secret, when this was coming up and Brady was like, I got no temperature for this, I specifically asked him not to watch the 1984 movie.
So it's your fault.
It is his fault.
I wanted him to watch this movie without any expectation, so that,
not bad.
You know, because the 1984 movie is very 1984. It's really more 1970s ish.
I love the 1984 version.
I do too, and I think Brady will appreciate the things about it. But you saw how he reacted to Army of Darkness.
That's not
let
fair.
him get a load of Patrick Stewart with a full-on Jean-Luc Picard mullet.
Right.
Like that's a very strange thing to see.
Yeah,
I'm excited for that.
yeah. Wait until you see like vector
Sting.
graphic
Don't forget Sting.
shields. Sting
Oh, yeah.
his underwear.
Oh, yeah.
Like we're gonna go places.
Is this Minecraft?
Yeah. Is
They
this
become Minecraft players when they put their shields
Is
on.
that a Steve?
What now? What, you want to see me in my underwear? Okay, well.
We might have to. Oh, Brady's gonna step out. It's a good thing he doesn't know what we're talking about. Steve's right. The 1984 film is rushed. And it's also really fucked up edited. David Lynch was even pissed off because the studio took it from him and chopped it all to shit, which is scary because how bad could it have been?
But it will always have a special place in my heart.
Oh, I don't get me wrong. I love this movie, but it's got fucking problems.
It does.
It's got 99 problems and Sting ain't one.
And the movie makes it 100.
All right. So in 1984, David Lynch directed the film adaptation of Dune that was released starring Kyle MacLachlan, Patrick Stewart, Virginia Madsen, Sting, Linda Hunt, and the great Max von Sydow. Any Star Wars fan should love a great Max von Sydow. The soundtrack was by the band Toto. So that is
love
like,
Toto.
doesn't it just about fucking say it all?
That says it all.
Hey, I love Toto.
This film bombed at the box office, making almost $31 million, and it cost $40 million to make.
And you're like, you should see this movie.
Well, it's
Brady, you do need to see this movie.
I know, I'm just giving him a hard time.
you know the part in Back to the Future after Marty plays Johnny Be Good,
Yeah,
and he goes, "You guys aren't ready for this, but your kids are gonna love it."
right.
It's kind of what happened to this movie. At the time, people were like, "The fuck did I just watch?" But later on, it definitely.
That's how I felt after I watched Battlefield Earth.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, well,
I
there's a
hated that movie the
time I'll
first
never
time I
Three
saw
and a
it.
half hours I'll never get back.
I've seen it like 3 or 4 times after that, and you like it more and more as you go. I feel the same way about Waterworld. After I got done watching
hated that
Waterworld, I'm
movie.
like, motherfucker.
That movie pissed me off.
But the more times I've seen it, I'm like, oh, I can see why they thought this was a good idea. And I can see why they made this choice. And it makes you appreciate it a little bit more.
I didn't
Anywho.
appreciate it.
Fucking wet ass movie. All right. So going around, when did you first see Dune? And what were your initial impressions? DB?
I liked it. I remember being a kid and it coming on TV at some point. Can't tell you when, but it's sci-fi. I was always a hook for anything sci-fi. I enjoyed it for at least what it tried to be. And then I know I read the book before watching the movie, so I probably didn't see the movie until around the early 90s. But I might think my dad was the same opinion. It's like, nah, read the book. Don't bother. But sci-fi, it's a movie. I'll watch it. It's cool.
Steve?
Yeah, so I watched it sometime in the late 80s. I think it may have been on HBO or something to that effect. At the time, I didn't even know there was a novel. I was not a big reader, growing up, just didn't read, didn't like it. But yeah, I saw the movie and I was like, okay, that was interesting. Or something. I don't know. I just thought it was a little weird. And looking, thinking back, it just, is that mindset of, it just felt like everything was done way too quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were just rushing to tell a story, like somebody with, ADHD trying to get to the end of a story. But then, yeah, I read some, back before the days of Wikipedia, there were these blogs that would do novel synopsises.
Mm-hmm.
And I read a few of those about Dune, and I was like, oh, well, that movie really sucked. So yeah, when I heard they were redoing it, I was like, man, I hope they don't fuck it up again.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Did not capture the essence of the novel.
Pretty much.
Aaron?
Well, I haven't seen the full film, but after seeing the most recent Dune, I went back to the 1984 one and watched clips of it, and I'm like, nothing about this makes me want to see the whole thing. Sorry, I've been spoiled.
I like his thinking. It makes the most realistic sense.
Which is exactly why I didn't want Brady to watch it and then go, dude, I have no interest in seeing this new movie.
That's what would have happened.
Can't win them all.
Truth.
I don't want to watch this.
Yeah. This garbage? You want me to watch this garbage?
Doing it again.
Oh, look, new graphics of garbage.
I'd rather watch a remake of Friends.
Hey, what's wrong with Friends?
I'm sorry, your mic cut out there, Lunar Girl. I didn't hear what you said.
I said, hey, what's wrong with Friends?
Oh, I did it again. How weird.
Did it again, crazy.
I enjoyed some Friends. I'm not going to lie.
Lunar Girl, what about you? What was your initial thoughts on this movie?
Honestly, I liked it. I saw it mid-90s. Very first time I watched it, I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
I love sci-fi. I love space, and this had both. And as for the cheesy graphics, I was able to overlook that. There's a lot that I love about the 1984 version, but we could talk about that later.
Right. I agree with that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I watched it. It's kind of a funny story. Maybe it's not funny.
Probably isn't.
Your mic cut out.
I watched it shortly after I graduated high school. I was dating a friend of just Jen, and she would throw these big house parties, right?
New best friend.
And her neighbor was a gay gentleman, and they all like, partied between both houses, right? They'd just be these great big houses, everybody back and forth. Well, at one point, like he invited me and a couple other people to go over and check out this movie Dune that I'd never seen. So I'm over there sitting there watching it, and I watched the whole fucking movie. I was like, well, that was fucking something. I don't know what it was, but it was something. And I come back over, and I was hanging out with my girlfriend, and like after a while, she goes, "Did he play Dune for you?" And I was like, "Yeah." He does that when he's hitting on guys. I'm like, I had no fucking idea that I was even being hit on. I was watching the movie.
He was watching you.
He was shopping for little Fade Rotha.
Oh my god.
Anyway,
Fantastic.
it's just a thing that happened. But it always makes me laugh when I think about it. I had no fucking clue. I'm watching this movie like, wow, that's something. And he's sitting over there going, yeah, that's something.
That's something. You smell different when you're awake.
I think that's adorable.
Maybe he thought Sting would set the mood.
Right. He didn't offer me any spice, so
I wish more guys hit on me, asking me to watch Dune with them than some of the ways they hit on me. So
Yeah,
I think that is brilliant.
it's a much better way to hit on somebody. I think.
Oh yeah, Done with the
it didn't
spice.
work, but I mean, it was a good try, I guess.
I think it's brilliant.
I thank you for the movie, but I don't think it's going to work out.
I'm not buying what you're selling.
I don't think that sort of thing would have worked while I was growing up in Dayton.
Yeah.
It's not. It wasn't as nerdy as it is now.
Oh yeah, no, it wouldn't have worked in the 90s.
No.
And it obviously didn't work on Don.
You want to watch Star Wars with me? Get out of my house.
Yeah. Just call me Captain Oblivious, I guess.
There was this guy in the 90s, and when he used to hit on me, I would get sprayed with the hose when I'm trying to drink my coffee and water the flowers.
Oh, that's right.
I wasn't hitting on you. I was just parking on the hose.
He was an asshole.
You are an asshole, DB.
I am aware.
What is he, 4?
He was 19 and he was an
that's even
asshole.
worse. 4-year-olds are so much more mature than 19-year-olds.
Absolutely. At least my 19-year-old self. Definitely more mature.
Amen.
Yeah. Anyway.
Okay. So this is kind of just a Lunar Girl Dragon Buddy question then. So those of you
go back to the fucking novel.
Why am I getting an echo all of a sudden?
Do you have a Bluetooth on?
No. All right. Well, maybe I'm the only one that can hear it.
I hear the end of it.
Oh yeah. See, there's a little clip in there.
I'm hearing it too.
Yeah, me too.
Somebody's got a live speaker or something that's picking up.
Yeah, it's not me.
I'm completely silent.
I wonder.
I just thought it was part of the show. I thought he was trying to do the voice.
My headphones.
Dragon Buddy, do you have your door open?
No, that's what it is. It got me one other time. It's me and Brady's fucking headphones sitting on the table.
Oh, okay.
There's a real easy solution. I'll just turn that down. All right. So I'm editing all this out.
No, it's not.
It's okay. It's gone. It's gone.
All right.
Part of the charm.
For the two of you that have read the novel,
I'm ready to get to the new damn movie, man.
We're almost fucking there.
All right.
Eat a Snickers,
geez. Hey,
Jeepers.
Aaron, if you need to go get a drink, go get a drink.
Jeepers cats, bitch.
Jeepers cats. Don't you Jeepers cats me.
Hey, we can talk about the graphic novel.
Right. That too.
Yeah.
So for those that have read the novel, did you have any trouble reconciling this against the David Lynch movie? As far as like going, hey, wait, what the fuck? Why did you do that? Anything stick out that way?
It's especially the end. I mean, the end of the first, at the end of the David Lynch version is like not the end of the book.
Right.
That's set up for where it goes to from there. Like there's a chunk of the book that's completely left out.
Right.
So I think the movie just ends before the story's actually over for the chapter book.
Yeah. Luna Girl, anything?
I watched the movie before I read the book.
Me too. So I got nothing for this.
Yeah, I read the book saying, "Oh, so that's why."
That's what you should have did.
Yeah.
Hey, Ron Johnson, what's going on, buddy? Okay, what was the most memorable part of the 1984 Dune film for everybody? Like when you look back and you go, "Oh yeah," what's the thing that jumps into your head first?
I'll take it.
Do it.
I loved how everybody had that inner monologue going on so that you knew what they were thinking.
Uh-huh.
I loved that about the first movie. They didn't have that in the second movie. The second movie is good, but it didn't have that inner monologue that each and every single person had going on. So you knew exactly what they were thinking at all times.
I kind of forgot about that.
I loved it. I thought it was brilliant.
It is an interesting way to give exposition.
That would have been fun with the new movie.
Mm-hmm.
I would have enjoyed that.
Yep. You will like that about the old movie. Like you don't ever have to go, well, what the fuck was he thinking?
Yeah.
It just told you.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Anybody else?
I felt like the casting choice for Paul Atreides in the 1984 movie was a little off.
He was too old for one.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, that's not really the impression I get of this character. I thought he was pretty young, but otherwise the casting was pretty good, I think. Although the casting in the newer one, I think, is about 1,000 times better.
Yep. He's so helpful.
Yeah, I thought the special effects were a little, I don't know, a little Tronish.
Yes, I was thinking Tronish. That's exactly what I was thinking when we were talking about the shields.
But for 1984.
For 1984, it's pretty good. Those
I
big
think the
blobby
biggest thing
things.
pops in is the Spacing Guild that in the books they're all human like people, and the Spacing Guild are these weird giant brain slug things that lay a poppins themselves through space, breathing spice out of their vagina mouths.
Yes,
That's
what they look like.
Cold space. I mean, that's something that's always going to stick with me is when they pop up and they're like, oh, and there's a ray of light and it's saying we're taking this planet and putting this next to this planet, and then there's a spaceship you drive through, and you're there.
Yeah. The being able to see them fold space explained what was going on way more than this new movie did. This movie's just like, there's these things and they go in the one side, the other.
Right. And it's powered by the stuff.
Yeah. The spice stuff.
Powered by spice stuff.
Snort a little spice.
Spice and you can hyperspace.
Yep. Boom.
Right.
Maybe they weren't really
Toss that shit in the engine, you're good to go.
Yeah.
Maybe they were just high and thought they were somewhere else.
Exactly. That's what I thought during the movie.
Liquid Schwartz.
Basically, they're snorting coaxium.
Yeah.
One of the things that really chapped me about the 84 movie is they did a really weird job making Lady Jessica kind of flighty and not very strong. And this new movie, she's a Bene Gesserit witch, like for real.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I think they did a better job in this movie explaining the Bene Gesserits than they did in the. in the 1984. I mean, 1984 is like, they're like weird space nuns, and this one, there's something to fear.
Yeah, the old one, they were like, she's a witch.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. Put your hand in the box.
Turn me into a newt.
I got better.
All right, let's crack into the reason why we're here. The new.
Hell yeah. That's why me and Aaron are here.
That's why Brady came.
That's the whole reason. That's the whole reason Aaron showed up. He's like, I did not expect this bullshit.
35 minutes of my life I'll never get back. All right. Dune 2021, the first part of 2. It's a retelling of the original 1965 novel, not a sequel of the 1984 film. Or a remake or anything. It bypasses that altogether.
It's a retell.
Directed by Denis Villeneuve, screenplay by John Spathis. Nope, I said his name wrong.
You're not going to get that.
Spites.
Go with that one.
I have no idea.
That one.
Can't say this guy's name. Villeneuve and Eric Roth. All right, so first off, who went to the movies? Steve went to the movies. I went to the movies.
I went to the movie.
No.
You watched it at home.
Watched it at home.
Dragon Buddy and Lunar Girl stayed home.
I wish I went to the movies, but no, that was
I would have seen this in the theater.
Well, I'm gonna go one more time to the theater. So if you want to go with me, you're more than welcome.
Oh, I like what you're saying here.
It's really
You're hitting on Brady.
Yeah.
You're asking Brady to watch Dune with you.
You guys just caught up to that?
Oh,
if there's dinner,
Want someone to plug his hole.
Yeah, there's gonna be some Atreides.
right up in the Harkonnen.
Right in the Harkonnen. Oh. Yeah.
Hey, this is on YouTube. Calm it down.
you're the one who wanted me to grab more Coronas.
I'm gonna have a look at your Mentat before this is over.
All right.
All right, kids.
Let's go. Me and Aaron have been waiting, dude.
All right.
Come on now.
I guess since I can't ask everybody about the theater, what was your first impression of this movie? Like,
let Aaron go first, please.
Yes.
He has been really patient.
He's been so patient.
I have.
Dealing with your shit.
I had no knowledge of Dune going into this whatsoever. I'm like, I don't want nothing. I don't want any first impressions. I'm just gonna go in blind. And I was a fan of Denis Villeneuve with Arrival and Blade Runner 2049. I thought that was about as good a sequel as you could ask for with Blade Runner. And I fucking love Blade Runner. So I'm like, awesome. I'm excited about this. And when I saw Dune, it just flew by, and it was like it was like my first time watching Star Wars, where it's like, that's fucking awesome. I want to live in a world like that. Let me in, please. And it made me like want to read the book and figure out what's going on with this whole Dune thing. So I think in that regard, it was a huge, huge success.
Yeah, for sure. Who's got next?
I'm the man here. I'm speaking. Let Steve go.
Okay. All right. It's a vibe.
Yeah, I was.
Wow. Brady needs a Snickers.
I've been looking forward to it for a while, actually, and I went on opening night, and I took Joey. You guys might know Joey. I took his younger sister and my son-in-law. We all went, and there was 10 of us in the theater. So still not a lot of people going out to the movie.
Hey, you get to pick your seating that way,
which is fine. Yeah, we have to pick our seating, and I got us right in the middle, and it was an amazing experience. The biggest takeaway, or the thing I keep coming back to when I think of having seen it in the theater, is how great the sound was.
Oh yeah,
and how great the score was.
Mm-hmm.
if you didn't see it in the theater, I highly suggest you do it just so you can get that surround sound experience of the score.
Yeah, you don't hear it, you feel it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I liked being able, because neither of my kids have seen the original Dune or even really knew what it was. Like that day, I was talking to my youngest daughter, and I was like, "You want to go see this movie with us?" And she's like, "What is it?" I'm like, "It's just a sci-fi movie." She's like, "Okay." So she had no knowledge at all of it, but I liked seeing her reactions as well. But we go to the movies a lot, so it's not an unusual experience for all of us to be sitting in the theater with 3 other people. But yeah, the sound was just amazing, and I don't think you're going to get the same thing out of a TV watching experience.
No, I don't think.
Steve, if I can jump in on that, my roommate, he was telling everybody to go see this in theaters because he's like, this movie's awesome, like, but the sequel isn't greenlit. It's 2 parts. Like, we can't let this die. Go out to the theaters so it has a good box office so it can get made. And I heard that, and little antenna went up on the back of my head. It's connected to my bullshit detector. And so I'm like, let me look into this. And so I did some research, and there's an interview with some Warner exec who's like, basically said without saying that, like, if you watch to the end of the movie, like, you'll know whether a second movie is coming. And I'm like, oh yeah, those fuckers at Warner, they're deliberately not greenlighting it to coax people into going into the theaters to see it. And I'm like, as soon as I found that out, I'm like, nope, I'm gonna watch it at home.
It's a brilliant play.
Now, Aaron, since me and you are in the same boat, having watched it at home, do you want to go see it in the theater now?
Yeah. I make fun of going to the theater because it never ends up being a good experience for me because, like, some guys just like munching on popcorn in my ear or whatever. But if it weren't for the people, I would prefer a movie theater.
I apologize,
dude, now is the perfect time to go to the theater.
Yeah, I just might.
Especially on a Tuesday at like 4 p.m.
Yes, dude, that's your time to go.
You go to like some art house movie where like everybody there is like polite and respectful and quiet, and they're just there for the movie, and I'm like, I'm fine with that. But you're
judging you for your popcorn, Aaron. How dare them?
I do not like popcorn. But yeah, you're just kind of general audience, like movie theater thing. No, thank you. Popcorn, it's lame. I don't like the texture. It has no flavor. It's just there to make you want to drink
a whole
Coke.
New show. We will do the popcorn show,
not
and Aaron
about
will be a part of it.
Okay, we're going to be talking about this on Rogue One Radio.
Not about it.
Yeah, that's a serious claim.
Yeah.
You heard it here, folks. Aaron is like, fuck.
Sorry for having opinions.
Fuck pop.
Well,
He's got a T-shirt with the kernel on it with the nose.
We might have to have that shirt made.
Throw it at my head.
Fuck everyone at the lobby.
Everybody at the lobby.
Your popcorn. Fuck
Everybody at the lobby. I'll just have a drink.
Now
They can eat a bag of dicks.
Now I really want to know what Aaron likes to eat for snacks.
He doesn't like to go to the theater.
Show us on
I
the
don't like to go to the
where
theater.
popcorn touched you.
I love the theater.
It was the
I
price
don't.
tag. It was the price tag.
Styrofoam. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Dragon
No,
Buddy, what was
honestly,
your-
I don't like the theater either. So I'm
Oh,
totally.
I love the theater.
Yeah.
I'll go to the theater by myself.
I like going to the theater if I'm by
I'll do that too.
myself. Like if there's nobody else in the theater, I'm game.
Yep.
That's
But
the
I
best
just-
time to go.
I don't want to watch a movie with like 150 other people.
I do.
Well, that's what it is. Where I live, man, we went to go see Dune on a Friday night.
Mhm.
You know, typical movie going night. And like I said, there was like 10 other people in the theater.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So
I could have gotten into that.
For an anticipated movie like this, that's
Right.
crazy.
Mhm.
Now, under normal COVID free circumstances, Salty Nerd is here, by the way. Welcome, Salty Nerd.
Get
Podcast.
Get out of here.
What's up?
Hi.
Under a normal circumstance, I love going to the theater on opening night, being in line, 100 people in the room. You know, when the marquee goes up, people are fucking cheering. You know, popcorn's flying. I'm eating other people's
Oh my god, that's so gross right now.
Yeah, but that shit gets stuck in my hair, you know?
Yeah,
It's not
see?
like
All that
4 feet of
hair. You know, quit blowing your popcorn wad in my hair.
It's so buttery.
You know, like
that wasn't butter.
you go see the new Star Wars movie on opening night with all those fans dressed up and they clap when the scroll comes on. And then at the end of the film, they're standing up.
Nerds.
Like, there's nothing like it. Or a Marvel movie. Like, it's just insane.
Or when
most
your
of the time.
husband takes you to see the 40th anniversary of The Empire Strikes Back and then he falls asleep. So you're the only one in the entire theater who was actually watching the movie because nobody else was there.
It was for like
Oh,
5
no.
or 35
There was
minutes.
nobody in that theater.
That was
Somewhere
officially
between
the
5
saddest
and
moment in
35.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Hey, I was in heaven. I was like, yeah, I'm watching this movie in the theater by myself.
Right.
We
Right.
went and saw the 40th anniversary at a drive-through theater.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
that would've
I
been
guess I would
cool.
have liked that. I would
That
have
was
liked
pretty.
that.
That was pretty awesome.
I always wanted to be able to see a drive-in movie from a convertible. And I just never had the opportunity.
Bugs.
I've done it in the back of my pickup truck, though. That's pretty cool.
Yes.
Get a
Well, who
couple of
hasn't done
camping
it in the
chairs
back
and
of a
sit in the back of a
pickup
pickup truck.
Ew.
This
Hey, she's
conversation
talking about
went away from Dune.
different
You're eating
kind of
popcorn,
parties.
aren't you?
Dragon Buddy, what stuck out about 2021's Dune in your initial viewing?
Initial viewing, a beautiful movie. The backgrounds, the set. I really thought it was, you know, for the sake of saying it, like an artistic movie, visually, and the score amazingly really goes well with the movie. It flows through the entire movie. That was what really stuck with me the first time through. I watched it 3 times in 24 hours.
Oh wow.
Just because I went in, went into work. I'm like, Tom, my assistant. I'm like, Tom, you got to watch this.
Mhm.
About 3 o'clock, everybody will be done. I'm going to throw it on. And watched it again. And Kelly's like, well, you watching it again? That's bullshit. I'm like, it's okay. And when I come home, we'll watch it again.
Right.
And
No.
then you didn't.
Yeah, then things happen. But
Since you said that about the score flowing all the way through it, did you catch at the very end when they're walking on the ridge, the Hans Zimmer had wrote the theme for the 1984 Dune into that chunk of the music?
yes.
Did that stand? A lot of
Yes.
people missed that, but
Yeah,
I
it was
when that happened, I was
nice
like,
little Easter egg.
oh. That's too much listening to John Williams when you start to pick stuff up like that.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're like, oh, I know that one.
yeah, yeah.
Play the hits, Dan.
Right.
Lunar Girl, what about you? What was your initial take on this?
Okay, everything that Dragon Buddy said, but with 2 extra things, 2 things that stuck out. The voice
Mhm.
was just
Oh.
so freaking awesome in
Definitely.
this version. And the second one was the armor. The armor was completely redone. No more Tron. It looked really good.
Mhm.
And I didn't like it when Jason Momoa shaved his beard. So
I'm
I
gonna
had to
agree
throw it
with
in
that.
there.
No, I'm glad you said that. I did not like that
I
either.
didn't like
When
it.
he
I'm
shaved, I was
sorry.
like, what the wait? What happened
No.
to sexy Jason Momoa? What
You're
is
not
this?
sexy anymore.
No, I did not like it. I need sexy Momoa on screen. Really? Yes.
I didn't even realize he'd shaved his beard.
Are you
How could
serious?
you not notice that?
You're joking,
Well,
right?
I think it's
I
because
was
Oscar
watching-
Isaac. think
I was
it's all
watching Duncan, Idaho. I was not even paying attention to Jason Momoa.
Oscar
You didn't
Isaac
notice
was
that
like, you
Duncan
saw me
Idaho
be clean
shaved?
faced
No.
in Star Wars. There's no
Well,
way.
You know what?
You got to go clean faced.
Yeah,
Fine.
it's
I'm
like
gonna
he
say
lost
this
a
then.
bet.
You're gonna talk like Jason Momoa like that. I'm gonna tell you this. I did not notice the score as much because I was paying attention to all the speaking.
Yeah, thanks.
So
sweetie.
like the score did nothing for me because I was like into the movie. I was like,
Okay. On what device were you watching said movie?
on 55-inch TV.
Yeah, you go,
Just with the
Brady.
TV speakers, though?
Listen, are you getting all judgy over there?
No, I'm just trying to frame this. Like, if you were listening on a surround sound system at home, I bet you wouldn't have been able to take your mind off the score. It's like Salty says right here. Someone takes a shit, Hans Zimmer says,
I mean, I noticed the throat singing, but other than that, I was like totally enthralled in what was going on.
I know, but lady walked down the hall. Apparently, Jason Momoa shaves his beard.
He shaved his beard. Shit really
Seismic charge.
happened, and it upset me. And I wasn't the only one upset by this.
Apparently not.
I was upset by it too, Brady.
I think my wife was just happy she got to look at Jason Momoa because she didn't bitch at all.
When we talk to her, ask her. When you see her, we'll bring it up on the next show.
Yeah.
Be like, how'd you feel when Jason Momoa shaved his beard in Dune? She'll be like, bullshit.
It was bullshit.
If a movie has Jason Momoa in it, it's got The Rock in it, or it's got what's his face from Fast and the Furious?
Not
Dom.
Vin Diesel.
Vin Diesel.
Vin Diesel.
No.
I can get her to watch any movie those three men are in.
Vin Diesel's.
If there was a movie
type.
all three men were in, the whole theater would be a fucking slip and slide.
What if it was 55-inch with a sound bar, like Hexamorian says?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I didn't have the sound bar.
Then there was only.
I still.
Yeah. There's all that.
Oh God, the audio audience is like, I love these guys so much for that right there.
Whole bunch of seismic charges going off for a little while there.
The seismic charge still makes me emotional. All right. So, what is the difference?
Oh, we're going back to one of these questions.
Yes. That's what we're fucking in for.
Not really.
Like, wait a minute. Do you have?
You know what our episode turned into? Clickbait.
Wow.
Our episode is clickbait.
Why?
You clickbaited the host.
We clickbaited. Yeah, you clickbaited me. You're like, hey, let's talk about Dune, the new Dune. Dune's so cool. New Dune. All right. Now they're like, and then there was a book made in 1965. And then we're talking about movie in 84. That's not what the fuck me and Aaron signed up for. And then you're going to ask a question about that shit. Oh, fuck. Here.
I'm just here for the ride. I love it.
Oh, I'm going to call Aaron. Give me your number.
We're starting our own show.
Slide into my
me
DMs
and
later.
Aaron getting into real Dune.
Yeah, be careful with those DMs.
You guys
man.
ready to get back into this here movie?
Are you? 'Cause it sounds like you're about to get into an old movie.
Oh gosh.
I
All
need
right,
to go
now
get
that
some
we've all
popcorn.
seen the new movie.
Yeah, I need another beer, and Dragon Buddy's on this show, so who's gonna get me one?
Well, apparently your kids are grown, so they ain't getting it for you.
Nope.
They got their door shut and the computer on. Dragon Age.
Yeah. Is there anything that
that's
stands
what
out
they're doing.
in this movie that is just far and away better than the way David Lynch did it?
Everything.
Just
All of
about
it.
everything.
Steve, right there. Steve's my
Everything.
guy.
Everything.
All of it.
Almost everything. There's no sting in this movie. You know,
I'm
I
okay with
really
that.
enjoyed.
Fine.
You know what I didn't like about this movie?
Hmm.
I didn't like how everybody says, Harkonnen. It's not Harkonnen. It's Harkonnen. Like, come on.
I thought it was Harkonnen myself.
Yeah, it's Harkonnen. It's
Harkonnen
really just
the
like, there's, like,
Barbarian?
fingernails on a
Harkonnen the
chalkboard for me.
Barbarian.
Actually, I do have a question for those of you that read the book that compares the two movies.
I'm out.
So yeah, you're out. So
Aaron's out.
In the David Lynch movie, like at the beginning of the movie, you actually see the Emperor.
Uh-huh.
Whereas in this new movie, you don't see him at all. They just reference him.
Mm-hmm.
So which one's more faithful?
The fact that you don't see him.
Yeah.
Okay.
He kind of is a puppet master, I think, until the end of the story.
Yeah, see, that one made more sense.
In both David Lynch and the new Dune, I think just the act in this newest one where they're signing the treaty, he puts his official signet into it, and then in David Lynch's version where the Emperor shows up and this is what's going on and you get a full-on face, I think is more just to tell a story, because it's narrated out in the book as far as there's an emperor, he's behind everything that's going on right now. I think it's more in order to describe the feudalism that's going on better visually than actually what you're reading.
Right. Another interesting thing to think about too is this book is actually told from the perspective of someone who is in the future telling of past events, as opposed to being told in a linear timeline like this is going from we're all experiencing this together kind of thing. This is like taken from notes and told 1,000 years in the future.
Didn't George Lucas rip that off?
I
Journal
believe.
of the Builds?
Yeah.
That bastard.
Dude, I just realized this.
Huh.
You're going to be upset with yourself.
I might.
Neither you or I got to talk about our first impressions of Dune.
Oh, it's true.
But that's okay.
Is it?
Yeah, well, there was just
All
one thing I
assholes.
wanted to say, though, because I agreed with Aaron. Aaron made the comment that he took this in like Star Wars. I wanted more. Like, give me, this is awesome. I don't know if anybody else got this vibe. To me, I got the vibe that this could be happening in the Star Wars universe, just like over there.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, it
Oh.
really felt like
I agree with you, Brady.
it
I
felt
always
like it
thought
was
that.
just happening. Yeah, it really had that vibe. Like, it's just happening over there. Like
Yeah,
there's a lot of the same kind of things happening here, but they're different.
Yeah.
and there's spice.
And there's spice. Exactly.
Yeah,
Well, the Navigator sure did look a lot like Jabba the Hutt. So,
sure.
Right.
Sure.
Right.
Sure.
Right.
The entire concept of this galactic empire that's kind of pulling the strings and running the whole show basically comes from this novel and Isaac Asimov's Foundation.
Right.
So George took that entire concept from these two works.
Right.
A long time ago in a galaxy far away. That is
Bingo.
literally Dune.
Yeah.
It's because Dune now is thousands of years in the future, as well as Earth is actually in our past.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're far out away. We've spread out. It's not in this area anymore. Like we've colonized everything.
Yep. I think going back to what you were saying, I think my first impression of this movie was within the first half hour, I was like, oh, they took the source material seriously.
Yeah. Nice.
I always appreciate it when somebody takes source material and treats it with reverence. Even the things that aren't great. There's always stuff that's not amazing conceptually, but generally it's an important piece of the tapestry. And if you get rid of something that seems minuscule and maybe kind of off, sometimes it makes things not as interesting at the end. You end up with a little bit more of a hollow story. And when I was watching the beginning of this, I'm like, oh, this guy paid attention, not just to the words that he read, but the intention of what was being said.
Yeah.
And I thought that was, I mean, I just think it's a great retelling. I think that the people who worked on the screenplay loved the source material, and that's always great.
Hell yeah.
You look at The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
You know, Favreau and Filoni love the source material.
Right. Right.
You know, it's not that they liked it. It's not that they read it and they were like, I could do something with this. These are their toys. They played this game when they were kids.
They were super fans.
Right. And that's what I got. That was my first impression of this. I was like, oh, this was made by people who love it.
Yes.
And I thought that was really great. And it bared out through the whole film. Like all the way through the film, you were like, oh, they thought of that. Well played. You know what I mean?
That's cool.
The detail in the city. You know, in David Lynch's version, the whole city essentially is just like a castle off in the darkness.
Yeah.
And
I liked how they kept showing the little desert mouse. Like,
yes.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Cool.
Like, because it's really important. And we won't know until part 2, of course. So if you never read the book or saw the original, you're not going to, I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
that mouse is really important.
Right. What an amazing little way to just and I mean, and the book does it. Calls out how vicious the environment is that this all takes place in. You know, because you're like, oh yeah, it's a desert, you know, it's hot. But no, like this mouse is literally drinking the sweat off its own ears so it can survive.
Yeah.
You know, it really drives home what we're doing in still suits and the entire idea that you're only going to lose a thimble's worth of moisture in a day.
When old girl gets stabbed,
and
there was no blood spraying out. That was all moisture and water and just but it's still like it sent the message. You're like, oh shit.
Right. And at that point, they had already established how valuable moisture is. So if in that moment you weren't like, oh, all their moisture is spilling out, you weren't paying attention.
Right.
It's like water becomes as valuable as blood.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, absolutely.
And it goes into their culture too, like that the representative from the Fremen who's like, yeah, when he's spitting on the ground, it's like everyone thinks that's a diss, but the guy's like, no, that's a sign of respect. He's freely giving his moisture to you, and you're like, oh,
yeah.
They didn't have to like go on a whole like Star Wars Wikipedia article about it. It just happened right there in the scene, and immediately you got it. And it's like, yes,
exactly.
That's a fleshed out world. It just makes sense.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. Anybody else want to go ahead and hit on anything that contrasts between these two movies that really stuck out to you?
One thing that really stuck out between this and the 1984 movie for me personally
was not watching the 1984 movie.
Was the CGI and special effects.
Well done. Well done, everybody. Oh. Look at this guy.
Good job.
Yay, Brady.
Exceptional improv, folks.
That's what I do. That's what I get paid big bucks to be here on the show.
Wait, you get paid?
Nobody else has a makeup guy?
Yeah. He's getting makeup all right.
Man, I'm doing this wrong.
So wrong.
Anybody? Bueller? Nobody?
Well, I mentioned something in the chat. I'll go ahead and mention it. But there's like this in the new one. There was this kind of like undertones of Middle Eastern, Arabic kind of tradition and culture.
Yeah,
that were absent, like completely absent. I thought from the original film, and having read some synopsises way back in the day of the book, because I never got around to reading the book, but it felt like that was kind of, I don't know if you want to say important, but kind of,
it is important,
very very thematic to the novel, and it's just weird that it was completely left out of the 1984 film.
Mhm.
But this new one, you could really feel it.
Mhm.
It's very intentional that Herbert did that, where he brought in cultures that reflect what's happened was in the Middle East and contrasted that with the cultures of the Western world.
Mhm.
And if
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys picked it up, but the Harkonnens are very much what was formerly the USSR. That's
Right.
kind of what they
I
were.
can,
The
I can,
industry
That makes
I
a
can
lot
see
of
that.
sense.
I can
And
pick up on that.
to the point where the Baron's name is Vladimir.
Mhm. Mhm.
Mm.
Um,
All that brutalist architecture and stuff like
absolutely, yep.
that. I get you. That's interesting.
Train their warriors on a prison planet.
Mhm.
Mm.
an
It's-
industrialized planet to where they're basically killing their own planet.
Right, absolutely.
Because they've industrialized everything, and it's all the pleasures of man kind of thing.
To the point
you know,
where it makes
to
us
the
sick.
extreme. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep. And I think that to some extent the Lynch film played some of those things, but it didn't express it in a way that made you go, "Oh, this is a reflection of our society written into this," as opposed to, "Oh, isn't this fucked up, guys?"
Mhm.
You know.
Totally.
And it's truer to the story. The story itself in the novel, it's like one of the first sci-fi novels to ever tackle religion in a fleshed out world of the authors. And it brought into all the aspects of Islam, Catholicism, Taoism. All of those things were culminated together, and they end up playing into the story of,
Quite a bit.
there was jihad back, 10,000 years ago, and against the computers and against the smart machines, and no one shall build a machine in the likeness of a man from now on.
Right.
That all of those played a huge part into this whole thing, and I'll give him credit that he really fleshed it out to where you can see that this future that we're in is a culmination of all religions together, where we all agree that, hey, there's something bigger out there. And hey, some people can tap into it, and they're the mystics, the Bene Gesserit. And yeah, it is a culmination of everything we are today.
Mhm.
Definitely. Now, I am quite certain that there's going to be a series coming out on HBO Max that is going to take place before Dune, and it's going to involve the Bene Gesserit sisterhood quite a bit.
I heard that too. I heard that rumor.
So
There's a lot of source material to really flesh that out too.
I think we're going to get quite a bit of that jihad and all of that kind of stuff told to us over the course of, I don't know if it's going to be like 8 episodes kind of deal, or if we're going to have 2 seasons, or but I expect that we're probably going to see that before we see part 2.
I would imagine so. I mean, they put this Dune off like what, 3 years now? Wasn't it supposed to come out in 2018 or 2019?
2019, I think.
Yeah, and then they put it off, and then they put it off, and they were going to release it, and then it's COVID. Oh. And then they put it off, and they put it off. And,
I mean, I really think that like the extra time probably might have been beneficial, because they probably got to fix some special effects stuff. The special effects in this movie are pretty flawless.
Yeah, they're excellent.
I can't remember a time where I was like, "Oh, that was poorly done," or "That was rushed," or they could have spent a little more time polishing the edges on that.
Just the worm alone, like the 1984 worm with the like 3 triangle lips, and then
fortune teller thing,
this worm with like it's almost like a wormy sarlacc pit with like thousands and thousands of teeth everywhere. Like Huge improvement.
Looks like the iris of an eye, especially at the end when it's like staring down Paul. Like,
yes.
Did
Science
you guys
fiction.
know that there's actually a Dune
Awesome
RPG?
Really?
I did
Oh
know
yes,
that.
a
actually,
tabletop
yeah.
RPG.
Yeah,
I did
Yeah.
not know that.
yeah.
I did know
It's,
that.
put out by a company called Motifius, who also does a Fallout tabletop role playing game.
Oh, I've been trying to get
Nice.
these guys to play that Fallout one. I've been wanting to check that out.
Do you
but
own it?
What's that?
Do you own it?
No,
Okay.
no. I it's one of those things where like when we get done playing D&D, we're gonna start either one of the Star Wars ones, or we were gonna look into that Fallout one.
Man, I'd love to play that Fallout one. I'm a Fallout junkie.
Yeah, I love those games.
love those games. Yeah.
Andrew said in the chat that Dune: The Sisterhood drops next year.
Next year is going to be such a great year for nerds. I
Oh,
swear. I am like,
Well, like they've said, they've been working on it for a couple of years now. It's just been,
I was gonna ask that question, but we didn't. We jumped.
yeah, it's been like overshadowed by all the other craziness.
Sweet. I'm looking forward to it.
Me too. Me too. All right. So, there's lots of subplots that were left out of this movie, like we've kind of been kicking around. Is there any that you guys particularly wished had ended up in the film, like as far as like maybe would have made some of the mud a little clearer for some people?
Well, speaking for me and Aaron, what the fuck are you talking about?
Okay. Okay.
What would you like to see to explain it a little more?
I don't need you. I don't need you right now. I don't need you right now.
Here.
I don't need you. Don't be that guy.
Is there anything in the movie that you wish would have been explained to you better when you watched it?
One thing. I wish I would know a little bit more about old girl. Or is that to come?
I'm not sure. Old girl we're talking about.
Old girl that
Zendaya?
Yes.
Zendaya?
Zendaya.
that's going to come.
That's gonna be
okay.
It's gonna
Yeah.
come
Yeah.
all over
Okay.
the place.
Then if that's the case, if I'm gonna get sprayed, then fair enough.
Yeah.
The fact that they hold back on her a little bit makes it a little truer to the book.
Okay,
because
cool,
Their
cool.
relationship is a big thing.
Okay, cool.
Her character's name is Chani. It took me a
I
second.
didn't know if she was somebody or she just was one of the people. So that was something I want to know personally, I guess.
I want to say she's the daughter of the leader of the Fremen or something. She's somebody.
Right.
She's
Okay.
high in her tribe.
Yeah, she's somebody.
Yeah, that's I guess if they're gonna answer that, cool. But
Yeah.
for me, that was something I was like, why does he have this draw to her?
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
There's a overarching like through line in this movie that I'm not sure this movie did a great job explaining. Everything is done in the way it was in medieval England through marriage of houses.
Okay.
Like at one point, House Atreides.
I mean, I get what marriage of houses is. You don't have to explain it to
No,
me.
I'm just saying it.
Okay,
At one
okay,
point,
don't be
House
an asshole.
Atreides and the Baron's nephew, Fade Rotha, which we haven't met yet, but he'll come along later. We're supposed to marry. Obviously, that's not going to happen now because of what happened in this movie, right?
Right.
And in the first book, and I think where they're going to probably go to in the Bene Gesserit series, is if you read the book, there's a huge spoiler for Paul's bloodlines, like
Yes.
where he's come from. Like it is a
Mhm.
huge thing in the book, and I think the Sisterhood will really
Is it
explain
Palpatine?
that.
Okay.
Palpatine has returned.
Clones.
I don't know how.
Somehow.
Sith magic.
There's okay, so you know the scene where Paul and the woman who worked for the Emperor, the overseer, and Duncan, Idaho, and they're all in that little kind of underground encampment there.
Yeah.
Paul brings up the idea that maybe he could marry the emperor's daughter.
Yeah.
And they gets kind of scolded.
They
Like,
get-
you'd make a play for the throne.
Right.
So the same kind of idea is going to come into play as Paul enters into the Fremen world.
Okay.
So yes, and Chani, or Zendaya's character, is going to be really important going through.
Mhm. But if you watch the first one, Brady, you'll know why she's so important.
It's because she can do this thing with her space worm.
She can do the space worm.
there's
That's
that
not why.
magic dust.
She's kind of bendy.
She's
That's an important text.
Send an important text.
I will say this:
anybody?
the more I've looked into this from people who have read the book, the more like neat, cool things I hear about it that it would make sense to put it in there. Like on the one hand, I know they got to keep it going and keep it to like 2.5 hours or less. But things like the whole Mentat thing, like that's never explained and that never comes up. So the security chief like goes like this for a sec.
Yeah.
And also the security chief, there's this great scene where what is it called? The hunter seeker that Paul like catches and manages to avoid being killed. Like the security chief, he's getting a dressing down for it, and he's like, well, I'll just resign then. And Paul's dad, I'm blanking on it.
Duke Leto.
Jared Leto, Duke Leto.
Duke Leto.
Duke Leto, he's like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, we're not letting you go. Get back here. In the book, at least, it's more fleshed out where it's like, the security chief's like, sorry, I let you down. For my own honor, I'll resign. And Duke Leto's like, what are you talking about? You trained Paul to be able to handle this kind of threat, and he did. Like, you let it down, but fuck your honor. Like, we need you here.
Yeah,
fine.
It's more of a it's more of a restorative thing rather than like a humiliation thing.
Right.
That's also part of this common thread that I love about this movie, and probably the story more than the movie, that you have these really awesome models of like, I guess like healthy masculinity, where it's like, they're like, everybody's like pushing Paul to his limit and like training him really hard and, trying, but it's all done because they love him so much and they want the best for him, and they want him to like be the best Paul that he could be. And even his dad is like, look, we trained you your whole life to take over and, be the next ruler of House Atreides, but if all you ever want to be is my son, then that's enough for me. And I'm like, so much that we need more characters like these. They're awesome.
Yes.
Right. And
when he cared more about rescuing the
people from the crawler.
Yes, exactly where I was going. And he was like, fuck the spice,
They really built up the fact that the House Atreides was that storyline driven anyway, is that that's who they were. Is they care about their people. They care about, their house and their family. And, that's the most important thing. And
that was really the first thing that endeared House Atreides to the Fremen. Is the fact that Duke Leto was willing to lose all of the thing that they were there to rip away from the planet to save every last one of his men.
Yeah. I also thought they could have explained a little more. They explained it a little bit better in the 1980s version. The whole thing with Jessica being the concubine and not the wife.
Right.
They didn't really, explain it too well.
Yeah, in the original book and the original film, you spend a lot more time with the Duke, sorting out the moments of his life and realizing that he should have married her, because just having her as his concubine was not it
because
didn't live
they
up to what
loved
she was
each
worthy
other.
of.
You
Yeah.
know, she was a concubine, but
But
they were
he
both
loved her.
madly in love with each other. You know, I mean, she loved him so much that she chose to give him a son instead of a daughter, which is what
Right.
she was ordered. You know,
Well, that's another thing that this movie doesn't really explain. The
Yeah.
Bene Gesserit have so much control of their own physiology
Mhm.
that they have a choice as to
Mhm.
what they bear.
and
That
they
shit was
are
crazy.
ordered not to give anybody sons because you
And
know,
it's all for generational growth of the
Mhm.
human race
Right.
um,
Right.
through evolution. Like
Mhm.
they control evolution is
Mhm.
basically a good way to summarize it.
Mhm. And now you have this half breed, half human, half Bene Gesserit, and you know he's going to be the knick-knack paddywhack, and nobody's saying anything about it. You know, so the '84 version explained it. So,
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah, it's one of the few
Knick-knack,
things the
paddywhack.
84 version really did well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
The one thing. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
You only get one.
You only get one.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else that you guys think really stands out that separates the two movies? And
Everything.
you can't say you still haven't seen it.
I can
Jason
say that.
It could be-
I can say that. I can say that. We all know.
It could be almost identical, and you just wouldn't know.
This has probably already been mentioned, but the world building was a lot different.
Mhm.
I think somebody had mentioned like the set designs and how the cities and planets were portrayed on screen.
Mm-hmm.
It looked a lot. It looked less dark, I guess,
Yep,
as far as specifically Arrakis.
Mm-hmm.
because they weren't trying to hide all the edges of everything.
Right. Yeah.
Strings.
And
Yeah.
all the pock marks all over the Harkonnens, you know,
Oh yeah,
that was from the acid rain, right?
yeah, I
Yeah.
believe so.
I mean, this.
I also appreciated
Mhm.
when it comes to the visual effects, like how much restraint there was. And it sounds counterintuitive, but like the scale of everything is huge. And
Right.
it's this amazing, huge, gigantic world. But compare that to like, I don't know, like Marvel Black Panther, where like the big fight at the end is just jam packed with like a million things. And it's just all
Yeah.
on the screen at once.
Mhm.
It's like makes me want to vomit. But
Mhm.
what they had, they just focused on in Dune, have your like huge, amazing set pieces, but instead of just like a million different things, like have two things on screen and make
Sure.
it as like photorealistic as possible. And I think that was the right way to go.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true. Like, Aaron, when you're talking about like during the big battle when they were coming down and they were blowing shit up, like they're running to their ships trying to get to everything, and they just showed you a small thing. Like,
Right.
I mean, it's a big ship, but like it wasn't a huge crowd next to it. It was a
Right.
decent sized crowd, but it wasn't some overblown CGI
Giant
super
hellscape.
fireball hell coming down. Yeah,
Mhm.
no, it was just
Mhm.
this ship is crashing and they need to get out the fucking way.
Right.
Yeah.
Even when Jason Momoa is flying around, Duncan Idaho is flying around in the ornithopter
See,
there.
you care.
And you know he's being like almost mowed down by the giant laser thing.
Mhm.
It's really just those two elements. It's what that ship's doing and what the ornithopter's doing, flying through that city. Like it's not some giant panned out. There's a giant battle going over here and here, and he happens to be flying over it. You're focused in on what's happening. Same
Mhm.
thing when the Fremen are fighting with the what are they called? Like the Emperor's Guard.
Sardaukar.
Yeah, the Sardaukar. That's there's only like maybe 30 people on screen. it's not giant battalions crashing in where you're just seeing wave after wave of CGI created.
Right.
It's just some actors doing what actors do. It really does. It makes the events more intimate.
Mm-hmm.
You feel the gravity of this guy going down and that guy going down, and even when we see Paul in his Fremen armor fighting later on, you see him interact with each individual person differently.
Mm-hmm.
And when they do that, you almost remember that those were human beings that were about their lives up until that moment. You know what I mean? It makes it more personal.
Yeah.
Makes the gravity of the situation feel different. And you don't, like you say, you don't get that in a Marvel movie because they're all just Ultron.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how many of them get mowed down by Tony Stark. They're just Ultrons. We're already kind of getting into it. Let's talk a little bit about the special effects in this movie. I personally thought that the special effects were among some of the best I've ever seen. I mean, I've seen some really cool things, but like I had said before, every one of them is done well. There's no bad edges or underdone stuff or let's just slap that in there, nobody's paying attention stuff. Like, they went through everything. And the thing that stands out to me is when you get into watching them get into the thopters, the wings turn out, and then you watch
that
them
was amazing.
speed up like dragonfly wings.
Yeah.
And then they develop a rhythm, and you go, oh, I can almost see how this particular craft could exist if it was real.
Yeah.
And a lot of sci-fi doesn't do that. It just expects you to suspend your disbelief and accept that the mechanics of what's happening is just fine.
Yeah, I think it's a lot like Aaron said, is the minimalist approach to it, to where it's nothing is completely over the top. And this could be attributed to the fact that they sat on it for as long as they sat on it, polishing away.
Right.
But polishing in the right way, to where it's not like, well, add a little here and a little spice there and a little spice there, but really just polishing off what they're trying to portray at that time without going overboard. That approach really made it that much more special.
Right. It's that idea that there's a little bit of magic in vanilla ice cream with some hot fudge. We don't gotta go all the way.
There's real beans in there.
It's real beans in there.
I thought they captured I mean, Dune was getting away from robotics and technology and everything like that. And I thought they did a great job. They did a great job capturing like the essence of nature, like from the cliffs, with the cemeteries and the ship that was coming out of the water. Like, they stored the ship underwater,
Right.
It didn't take away from the landscape. The desert, like, everything was beautiful, and it didn't have to be all techie, sci-fi, computers, robotics, which is what the story was getting away from.
And see, Lunar Girl, I wish they spent more time on stuff like that, because it seemed to me like every scene in this movie was to like advance the plot in some way or maybe develop the characters a bit. And normally I would say that's what you should do with movie scenes, but every once in a while you need that scene or two where you could just like sit and absorb the world and let the movie lodge itself in your heart.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like the movie Big, that scene where Tom Hanks is like dancing on the keyboard. You don't need that for the movie. And I'm sure the crew like argued with the producers to steal away some money to make that scene, but it's one you'll always remember. Or Star Wars, like That brief little
Naboo.
scene where Luke is staring off at the binary sunset. It's
Yes.
not necessary to the movie. You could cut it out, but that shot you'll remember forever because it invites us into Luke and how he wants to make a difference and matter in the universe, and that's represented by the two suns, and you just sit and soak in that moment, and the music swells. We don't have that with this movie, and I really wish we did.
Right.
I was thinking how one of the only things about Attack of the Clones that I actually liked was Naboo. You know, how beautiful Naboo was. And every scene, like, you know, you'd see Anakin and Padme, but it would also like show the island that she used to swim to or the meadow that they're picnicking in, and just you know, it really captured how beautiful that planet was.
Yep. Another great moment that's in Star Wars that I kind of think they almost echoed in this movie, but I guess they wouldn't have known when they made this movie. So it's just a coincidence, too close together. But in the Bad Batch, when Omega steps off the ship for the first time, and she scoops up the sand in her hand, and she's experiencing a new thing. They don't talk about it. It's just it just hits you all at that moment that she doesn't know anything about the world.
Right. Right.
And in this movie, Paul is walking along that beach and he knows this is the last time he's going to feel home. He reaches down in the water and experiences the cool waters of Caladan one more time before he gets on a ship. And you're in that moment, you're just like, oh, kid, you're going to the desert.
Yeah.
I've been in the desert. It sucks.
Yeah.
I've been deployed. It is not fun.
See? But like you say, those moments don't have to be in the movie, but they ground you in the story in a way that you wouldn't be let in any other way.
They connect to you on an emotional level.
Yeah,
like,
that's
I
beautiful
feel
writing.
That. I feel that, and it's a good thing.
Yep.
Which makes it a travesty that they waited for to see how this movie did in order to even greenlight a second part, knowing that this is half the story.
Or did they?
Yeah, or did they? Exactly.
But that harkens back to like we were talking about earlier with the mouse. You know, there's that moment where the mouse like soaks the water off its own ear and has to drink it.
Yeah.
You're at that moment, you're like, it's so dry and miserable.
Yeah. It's true.
You know, it transports you from the couch or from the movie theater seat right down to that base instinct of I need something to drink. It's hot.
Yeah.
And you just don't get
Everyone
that.
on the podcast is drinking now.
Right. You just don't get that if a creator doesn't go, you know what? I'm gonna tap that little cerebral impulse in the watcher, and I'm gonna bring them into this world. And that's one of the things that's great about this movie and really the novel before it. Like it pulls you in to that world they're building. It's not, hey, witness this thing that we made. It's feel this world that we made.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's good storytelling.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
How many years do we have to wait for part 2 now?
I think just 3.
Two, maybe 3.
2?
Supposed to come out in 2023.
2023, yeah, was what I heard. But this was 2019, so wait and see.
The last thing I got to bring up here, we've kind of already touched on, was Hans Zimmer's score.
Oh, beautiful. Amazing.
I noticed the throat singing,
but
I was in the fucking movie itself. So I want to speak on this, but I can't because really, like, I was like, what's going to happen next? Like, so like I wasn't listening subconsciously. The score was moving through me.
Well, the theater experience, the score is so big that it becomes a actor in the story.
Yeah.
And I feel like at home you got to spend a little more time with the actual story.
I don't know. I felt like I got both worlds in my theater experience.
Nice.
I mean, I was following the story pretty well, but at the same time, I kept coming back to this. Man, the score is really good.
Yep. But
Yeah,
like,
it's not the kind of
just
score
certain
you can
moments.
like. Yeah, it's not the kind of score you could just like hum or like
Right,
whistle
right.
later,
yeah,
like you can with like a John Williams. But
Sure.
it's more you're always going to remember how it made you feel.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
it's kind of
Just-
the point of soundtracks anyway.
Mhm.
Yes.
But
And
yeah, just
this
every
is
so
momentous.
often, in the movie, you just stop and go, man, the score really complements the events so
Right.
well.
It's very dreamlike, and
Yeah.
that blends
Just
well with the
managed.
feel of the movie as a whole. It's like very
Yeah.
dreamlike.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's definitely a score that I would throw on when I'm writing or
Oh yeah, that
making
would be
lists or, you know,
Taking some
even just
LSD,
trying
sure.
to chill out after a really shitty day, you know, when you
Mhm.
just need something to just take you away into a different world.
See, I'm kind of the opposite with that. I listen to the score separate from, and now John Williams taking, the entire soundtrack to Star Wars, I can listen in bits and pieces through the day. This, I don't. It kind of, without the movie, it's very lacking for me. Anyway. But with the movie, it is so they complement each other so well. Like
Interesting.
I thought but it was great. It was great for the movie.
Mhm.
Amazing score with the movie.
I have not yet
Interesting.
listened to the score outside of the movie, so I've got to try
I need
that.
to.
Mhm.
I need to.
I think one of the more recent scores I've listened to outside of its media or medium is the score to The Mandalorian. Really enjoyed listening to that.
Mhm.
But
I love The Mandalorian.
yeah,
Mhm.
same.
Oh,
Mhm.
that's funny, Steve. I just seen your message that you sent about the intro.
Oh,
Whoops.
If you reach out to Alan, I'm sure that he would love to work with you on something.
that's what he
Yes.
was talking about DMing me about.
Mhm.
Yeah, it wasn't about plugging the hole.
It
That was
wasn't about plugging the hole. Bullshit, Steve. Dude, that's what you guys were talking about. You were talking about sports ball, and you're talking about some guy plugging the hole. I was like,
And then there was a separate conversation about
yeah. Then we were talking about,
That's what they always say. Next thing you know, you're over at the neighbor's house watching Dune being hit on.
wink, wink,
One
nudge,
thing always
nudge,
leads to
wink.
another.
So, Brady, when you going with John to the movies to see Dune?
We're not drinking, I'm telling you that.
Hey,
I'm
buddy, you
gonna
want to go
drink.
see Dune?
I'm not doing this shit sober.
Maybe we should go for that cheap ass Tuesday matinee.
And then we'll get the 2 for Tuesday couples special.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Now you're
You can
thinking.
hold my popcorn. I'll see if I can put a hole in the bottom of it.
Oh. I like it.
Oh, that's fucking fucked up. I like it. I like
Make
it.
sure you get it with extra butter.
Extra butter.
Extra butter for my hetero life
gonna
mate
need it.
over here.
Yeah. Can I get that with layered slip and grip, please?
You guys are awful.
So, interesting soundtracks Hans Zimmer did.
Mhm.
He's done the new Blade Runner movie. He did that the new Lion King movie. He's done the Wonder Woman scores.
Didn't
And
watch that.
That Wonder Woman score is fucking amazing. If you don't get excited after listening to the Wonder Woman theme, you are not paying attention. He did Man of Steel.
Oh,
Did I mention The Dark Knight Rises?
I didn't watch that either.
Like, just a ridiculous. Like, this guy's repertoire is for serial. I mean, he's no John Williams, but he's working on it.
He's on some.
Him and his interns.
Huh?
Him and his interns. He has a bit of a nasty habit of claiming credit for his interns' work.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know
Kinda
that.
sucks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's some bullshit.
Yeah, but I'm sure that he owns. Wow. That's my shit.
That's him pooping right there.
Everybody.
I own that.
Yeah.
Uh,
No shade on him as a composer, but his business practices are not always up to par.
that is a very common thing among artists.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
It's I've heard that theme run through quite a few things.
Interesting.
So that kind of wraps up what I got for this movie. Is there anything that we didn't discuss that you guys want to make sure that we hit on?
I
Thought it was a
can't
little
think of
weird
Aaron, that's
how
what I was
the-
thinking.
I thought it was a little weird how the Fremen were all dressed in like paintball outfits.
Uh-huh.
It's my own little nitpick. I don't like the still suits. Everything else is great.
That actually didn't change from 1984 until now.
Yeah,
They were almost exactly the same outfits.
They're pretty damn
The
close.
Well, maybe
still
it's
just
suits were pretty similar.
Yeah.
Coloring
Might
was
have-
different.
They might have literally been the
Hmm.
same outfits. They just,
It could have been the same outfit,
Re-
except
re-
that
Dust
they
them off
had
storage.
a couple more
Yeah.
Dust them
patches
off,
on
little
them.
Krylon.
The
Good
the
to go.
still suits in the 84 were a little more brown.
At one point,
Gotcha.
towards the end of the movie, they had very blasts of red in them.
Uh-huh. Yep.
When they were
Hmm.
like in ceremony.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
I mean, I haven't watched the movie.
Yeah,
so-
well done.
Yeah. I didn't know we were going to be doing a show about the 1984 movie.
We didn't.
Me and
That's
Aaron
ne-
would beg to differ.
that's next week.
Yeah. that's
Yay!
Bullshit, Steve.
next week, I make Brady watch the original Dune movie.
Can we come back?
Maybe.
Aaron's like, fuck that.
Aaron's like, I can't make it.
I just love being here. I'm here for the ride.
Giant
watch
vagina
party,
worms,
guys.
I'm out.
Giant vagina worms, I can't handle.
Dude, Brady, I gotta send you a picture of that. You'll know exactly.
Yeah.
You'll
Yeah.
understand.
And then there's the scene where
You
the
must
thing's
kill
going
all the
like this.
tradies. Oh my God! You hear what that bush just told me?
Yeah. Yep, definitely.
Dude,
I
watch
think that
party.
kind of
Let's do
wraps up everything I got.
Hell yeah. It was a good show. You did
No,
a good job.
Great
Everybody did a
show.
good job.
I'm really glad that you guys got to come because I would have been shit out of luck if he didn't show up and you guys didn't
Oh
show
my
up.
God. Can you imagine this show if you guys didn't show up? He's like, let's
Oh,
talk about the
no.
novel.
We're gonna have
You can
Army of
talk about the
Darkness all
novel.
over again for half the show.
It would have been the
Let's
Don
go.
and Looter Girl show.
There's spicy vagina worms and
Are they made by Taco Bell?
folding time. And Paul was there.
Paul was there in the desert.
All right, let me pull the plug on this monster.
Space
We are
Age T.S. Lawrence.
what?
What happened?
Space Age T.S. Lawrence.
Oh, yeah.
Lawrence of Arabia.
All right, guys, I'm gonna drop you guys out. Thanks again for coming. We're really happy you were
Bye.
here.
Yeah,
you
no,
so
really
much.
appreciate it.
Thanks
Hope
for
you
having
guys
us.
will join us again.
You guys were a
was
sexcellent
fun.
panel.
Oh,
Oh, oh my!
Furman bastard, you.
Are you,
All right,
are
good
you
night,
hitting
everybody.
on us? Bye.
bye.
We made it. Yes.
Yeah, we duned it.
We doing the shit out of it.
So, as usual,
Hell yeah.
everybody make sure that you like this video. If you didn't like this video, tell us about it anyway. We
Yeah,
love
we're cool with
reviews
it.
and we don't get enough of
Yeah,
them.
no. I would say I'm gonna look it up because it's been that kind of a day. I'll look it up if you got the time. You got the time?
Anyway, it really helps people find our show if you guys leave reviews. Even if they're bad. Like some people are like, it couldn't be that fucking bad, and they'll watch our shit show anyway.
And they'll be like, it's fucking bad. We still don't have a fucking review.
Oh my goodness. And please make sure to subscribe to us wherever you get your podcast, because we're at your podcatcher, whatever it wants.
Yeah.
We're in there.
There, you're all up in there. You're like, I'm only no, you're deep enough to where maybe that pinky's finding a little something.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my god. Maybe the ring finger. I don't know. Maybe you're a thick some bitch and it's that thumb.
Wow. Merry Christmas. Brady.
Happy New Year.
Tell these guys where they can find you.
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at lowercase o 0 capital BIG _ capital LOVIN 0 lowercase o. And once again, that's on Instagram and Twitter. Don, tell these fine, fabulous people where they can find you.
You can find me at Jetfire1979 on Twitter. And as always, you can find me as DellaSnooch on Instagram.
Oh, kinky.
You can find us and other great podcasts on the Red5 Network. And along with Rogue One Radio. That was Steve was on the show tonight.
WSTR.
Aaron was here from WSTR.
Doing the damn thing.
Lunar Girl was
here. That's my guy right there. Lunar Girl's the sweetness.
Spokeswoman for the Sidebar Cantina.
And then Dragon Ball's a spokeswoman for the...
And Dragon Balls. Holy shit. Dragon Balls where? Kind of party is this?
Across these faces!
Apparently you Dragon Balls on red5network.com. Fucking Brady's falling to pieces here. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It's been a day.
I needed that. It's been a hell of a day.
This is the part of the show where you know what's happening. Get your shit together.
Clankety clank, motherfucker.
This podcast is part of the Red 5 Network. For more Red 5 Network podcasts, visit red5network.com.